Hi everyone, welcome to Card Yahtzee. So it is Wednesday, November the 3rd, I'm gonna say, and I've got a beautiful card to make for you today. I hope that you have gathered some supplies and that you're going to give this a go as well. Whether or not you're following the recipe of the dice, just create with me. Grab some cardstock and a stamp set, maybe some designer series paper, whatever inspires you today, and let's stamp together. Now, having said that, I need to tell you that I'm recording this early. I've got a dentist appointment and I won't be back in time to do this live today. So, let's look at what the dice gave us last time and see what we've got. All right, and that didn't do what I wanted it to do. Try this. Okay. All right, so that looks a little bit better. Still need to work on this lighting situation. Okay, so last Wednesday, when we rolled the dice, we were given the Regal's color family, a monochromatic card type, thank you for our sentiment, ribbons and twine, and sponging. And I have to admit, I've gone off the reservation a little bit. No, I've gone off the recipe. I'm improvising just a little bit. So I love the Regal's family. So let's take a look at them first. I don't know. I put that stuff there, and now it's in the way. Okay, so the Regal's family, remember we looked at the color families last week too. So they are on page 122 of the main catalog, and these are the Regals. This is my color palette. All these rich jewel tones, Blackberry Bliss, one of my very favorite colors, shaded spruce, that's what we're going to work with today. And also I've got a Cajun Craze example in this card. So love, love, love these colors. So very excited. And yeah, I'll admit, if you don't remember, the dice gave us a different color family and I decided I was tired of working with that color family and I rolled it again and got something different. The stamp set and dies that we are working with, and we are working with dies, and I know that that wasn't called for, but I took a little liberty there as well. And this is in the mini catalog on page 38. I should have already had that open, so I apologize about that. Okay, so here is page 38. So this actually starts on page 36. Okay, so here's the whole suite. Here's the Peaceful Place, and you've got this gorgeous designer series paper, this embossing folder. We're going to use that embossing folder today. And then here is the stamp set and the dies, and you can see them a little closer over here. Now, you've probably seen a little bit about this stamp set. I used it on Monday on the YouTube live, and I was just going to grab those cards and remind you of what we did on Monday. So let me do that. That's not the right one. Okay, so on Monday, we created these two cards on the YouTube live. This one is a case from Chris Smith. I loved this. I thought this was amazing. Just a slight variation in the positioning and the measurements, and it gave such a cool look. Here's the traditional, and it's beautiful as well. But I just like this, switching it up just a little bit. I thought that made a big difference. So that's what we did Monday on the YouTube live, and you can see that on my YouTube channel if you want to watch the replay, or you can sign up for my blog and you'd get these videos the day after I record them. So and that michellesalcho.com that you see in the corner, that's my website. So that's where my blog is, and that will take you everywhere you need to go. Now, it's still a little bumpy, but we're getting there. The other thing that we're doing with this bundle this month, I'll just go ahead and give another sneak peek. It's time to register. So this is a monthly subscription, my monthly card club. And these are the cards that we're going to make in Card Club this month. So I absolutely love this card, and it comes together so easily. Then this one introduced a little color, brought in some Misty Moonlight in here. And then this one brought in some Old Olive. Love Old Olive. It goes so nicely with everything. This is on a crumb cake base with a black mat. And then this card is actually a step card. It will stand up on its own. So I don't know how to... So there it stands up, and you can see the steps, if you will. So those are our 4 cards that we're making in Card Club. You make 2 each of the designs, so you'll finish with a total of 8 cards. You get a goodie bag that has at least $20 in product with it. You'll be able to go on and make additional cards with that beautiful bundle. You do need the stamp set to make the cards the way I've done it, and you can add that on to your order this month. And I've got something else to say about that, but I can't think of what it is, so I'm going to let it fly. Okay, so monochromatic. Love these monochromatic cards. The thanks, I haven't added a sentiment yet to my samples. I did not use ribbon and twine, so I guess I get a strike for that. I don't see the big red X that comes up in Family Feud. We don't do that here, okay? This is just an idea. Sponging. Sponging and blending look a lot alike, but I can blend better than I can sponge, so I went with blending. So I get like partial knockoff points there. All right, so let me show you the samples that I've already made. So here is the Cajun Craze version of this card. I do not know the name of the demonstrator that shared this with us last night, but my upline had a team meeting. She gave out the annual awards for the team and had this demonstration. And one of my Stampin' sisters, one of my Rubber Queen sisters, demonstrated this card, and I was like, oh my gosh, it is absolutely perfect for what I am doing. So I've watched the video a few times to get it right. Or get it to my version of it anyway. And so the only ink that I've used is Cajun Craze. I've blended this background. I used an embossing folder, the timber embossing folder that goes with this suite, and then the dies and the stamps in it. I stamped the inside as well, and I would add my greeting here. The demonstrator last night added a thank you right here, a real small thank you, and it's adorable, and then left the inside with just the trees. I think I like the front the way it is, and I would probably add my greeting in here instead. Went ahead and stamped that envelope while I was there, so this is all ready to go in the mail. So like and share this video today, and I will draw and send someone my samples from today. So I'll have at least 3 to send out, so please like and share. I appreciate that so much. I can't wait to send you some mail. This is the same card using the Evening Evergreen ink, and I just love it. This is actually the color that she shared last night in our team meeting. And the envelope. Thankfully, she shared the envelope because I forget that. And sometimes I forget the inside as well. So let's make this card, and then we're going to draw again, and then I'm going to run to the dentist. So what do I have? So staying in my color scheme, my Regal's color scheme, I have a piece of shaded spruce, and it is 5.5 by 8.5, and it is scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of shaded spruce that is cut 5 1/4 by 4, and then it is embossed with the timber embossing folder. I love this wood plank look. So I've already embossed with that. Then I have lots of white cardstock over here. Okay, so I have a piece of white cardstock for the inside. I have a piece of white cardstock for the blending. Okay, have a piece of white cardstock for the cabin. Now all three of those pieces are the same size. They are 3 1/4 by 5. Okay, then the next piece, actually that's for the trees. Did I say the cabin? I'm sorry. So inside, blending, and the trees. Then there is one that is slightly smaller at, oh my goodness, this one is 3 1/4 by 5. Okay, that is for the cabin. Okay, so just a little bit smaller. And then I have a little piece that is 1 3/4 by 5. Okay, so that way when we put these on the card, they're all just going to stack. So we're going to line up the bottoms of this. All right, so first up, let's do the blending or the sponging. You could do this with a sponge. Okay, I am going to use our blending brushes. So these are in the main catalog, and I'll have the links to these products in the video once it posts, and you can shop and make them for yourself because I know you're going to want to. So I am just making a little background here. Always start off at the edge and then come in. So this is shaded spruce ink that I am blending into the middle piece, the middle area of my cardstock. That's what I was trying to say. Now the next piece is the inside of the card, and I am going to stamp the trees in the bottom left corner. Or maybe to mix it up, I'll do it in the bottom right corner. I've done the others in the bottom left. So look at this detail that you get in the trees. It's just beautiful. It's already a snowy scene, and all we've worked with is a little bit of green. Now I got some spruce in an area that I didn't want it, so I'm going to clean this off with my chamois. And spruce is an ink that keeps on giving. And if you doubt me, you can ask my friend Sally. She ordered her starter kit to include shaded spruce ink. And when it came, the ink had met with an accident, and everything in the box was shaded spruce. So Sally was shaded spruce for a little while. Speaking of starter kits, the starter kit is on sale starting tomorrow for the rest of the month. Now I am going to stamp this in from the right about 1/4 of an inch and down from the top about 1/4 of an inch. So I've stamped all three. Aren't they beautiful? Now let's go ahead and stamp actually I should have done the envelope because I only wanted the left two. So let's just clean that off again. So starter kit is going to be on sale. Normally that starter kit is $99 and you select $125 in products. So already a great price. And you select your products. Okay, that's the piece I want to really drive home. Right now, or starting tomorrow, that starter kit is going to be on sale for $75. You still select $125 in product, and you're going to get a paper pumpkin included in that. So you get an orange box of some sort. You don't know what it is. It's going to be a surprise, just like it is when you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin. Okay, so we've done our trees, we've done our blending. Next up is the cabin. And for the cabin, we're going to come over to the left side. And we're going to come in from the left about 1/4 of an inch. And we're going to come down about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, I came down a little farther than, oh, sorry, I got my big old head in there. I came down probably a little farther than 1/4 of an inch. That will work out just fine. Now, working with these dark colors, you can line this up. You can cheat just a little bit and don't have to remember my measurements so much. Because the next thing I want to do is I want to put a fox that's going to show up about right here. So my basic white cardstock, if I hold this up to the light, I can see through it. And I can see that right in that area is where I want to put my fox. And since both of these are flat, there's no risk. I'm fine to stamp in my layers there. Okay, so now I've got everything stamped, except for a greeting, which, let's go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and add a greeting. Actually, you know what? We're going to cut this first, and then we will add a greeting. So, let me show you how this lines up on the dies. And I use something I got at Amazon called Post-it tape. So it's Post-it tape, and I've dropped it and broken the little case, I think, there. But I tape these to my paper to hold them in place when I'm running them through the machine. So I would just line this little guy up. I've got several little pieces already over here hanging on my desk, hopefully not getting my head in it. But I would tape this down like this, and then I would put it on the cutting plate. So it would go like this. And it needs to go into your machine this way. Okay, for one thing, it really won't fit well going horizontally. And another, it's going to be harder to crank that way. If you turn it this way, you'll have better results in the cutting. All right, so let's do that one. And then the trees, just line them up a little bit, tape them down, and then I'm going to cut that texture out as well, and I can do these at the same time. Okay, so then those are ready to go. And the last thing is the cabin, and this one is the cabin die. Okay, and it lines up like so. Well, I've got one piece there, and I need to tape one down on the other side. Okay, now I've got all three of those ready to go. Now we're going to do a little magic, okay? So, through the magic of, let's save a few minutes, I've already done some cutting. So here is my little fox cut out, and my cabin cut out, and my trees. Now, the way I had my trees placed, the die didn't extend all the way to the edge, and that's fine. I can just trim that with my paper snips, because really this is just a snowbank. And then you can see the texture that came through. Right? So I'm going to layer all these pieces together, and then we'll build it in on the actual card. All right, so how about that magic, right? So I can't wait to come back from the dentist and see what it is that you all have created. So I'm going to put the trees down with a little Tombow, little liquid glue. That glue is $4, folks, and I always have it in stock. So if you, actually I have all the adhesives in stock. I'm allowed to cash and carry them. So that is the only actual inventory that I have. And I choose to carry that so that my customers can get supplies, get adhesive, because you don't want to run out of adhesive in the middle of a project. So on the trees, I only put the Tombow in the bottom area, and now I'm adding dimensionals to the cabin, and I'm going to just put one up here. And I am going to go ahead and make that sticky because I don't want my card to be all these layers and then fragile at the top. I'm going to turn it over and see. I keep looking up for your comments. I'm used to doing this live. So if you're on my email list, then you should have gotten an email yesterday. Yesterday was Tuesday, so you would have gotten the Monday YouTube Live post. And then this morning, there was a post about the starter kit sale, or an email, I'm sorry, not a post. Well, there was a post on Facebook, but not on my blog. Oh, you know what? We were going to stamp our greeting before we put this down. Oh. Well, I forgot that. Okay, now I've got those all lined up. I'm going to put them on the timber. The timber is a really cool, all the embossing is really cool, but this one I love both directions. I love it on the embossed side and what we'll call the debossed side. This time I'm going to use this side, and I'm going to add my layers, my stack. I call that a stack when I'm in my tutorials. So if you take my classes and you get that written tutorial, that would be called a stack. We would refer to the layers, and then when we put multiple layers up together and attach them, we would say you're attaching the stack. And then we'll use a little glue to put this down. And I love using the Tombow because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room, a little time for me to see if I've got this relatively straight. There you go. Now we need the inside layer. Here it is. I'll put this one on the inside. And there you can see all this dimension, right? So the trees are not quite glued down, so they've got some dimension. You've got the dimension of the layers that are on with dimensionals. And then we're going to put this one on the inside. I did not add any embellishments. I think that you could use some of the metallic pearls or the rhinestones. There are lots of options for that on this as well. I was just busy playing with the colors. All right, I have 4 samples to send out, right? I have 2 that are in shaded spruce because I've already stamped one. I just need to die cut it and put it together. So here's the shaded spruce. Here is the Evening Evergreen. And then here is the Cajun Craze. So I have 4 to send out. So like and share this video, and maybe you can be drawn to receive these in the mail. Now, if I draw your name and I don't have your address, of course I'm going to reach out and ask you to send that to me as well. Okay, I'm cleaning these because I'm about to make a big mess when I roll the dice and see what we're making next week. I love that I was able to show you another way that your investment in the Peaceful Cabin bundle can be used. It's a great value. You can use this for any occasion, and it's just beautiful. So, okay, now let's get the dice out. Still working on a way to roll them, and I wonder, should I do them one at a time? Let's do that. We'll build the suspense. Okay, so blending is first up. Color family is next. And we have the neutrals. We've played with the neutrals before already, I believe. Over the top. Wow. So this card might be getting close to an over-the-top card with all of its layers. But, oh, and it's a thanks, which is what this is supposed to be. I mean, would have been if I had put that down. And texture. So that's awesome. That's perfect because over the top and the texture really goes together. Blending, that's another way that you add depth and detail to your card. So super excited, and thanks. Always need thank you cards. So this is our recipe for next week. I hope that you will join me back at 2 o'clock Central for the next round of Card Yahtzee, and please share what you are creating. I love to craft with you and would love to see what you're making. So have a great day, everybody, and thank you for being here. Bye-bye.